Welcome to the Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Eric.
It's super weird having you do the intro because you've been gone for two
Been
weeks.
gone for a few weeks. I'm back.
I don't know if I like this. I'm Dominic. I'm just kidding, Derek. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, we are currently on episode 146, and we have a very special guest today. We have Kai with Tea Time Leather. Kai creates quality handcrafted products. Make sure to give him a follow on Instagram. His user handle is at Tea Time Leather, as it sounds. Kai, thank you so much for taking the time and joining us on the podcast.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, super. By the way, if you are watching, the backdrop is awesome. I love the elephant print, which is one of the reasons. I mean, we
You know, it's funny. You're like super into the elephant print. I'm really into like the thick wood block on like the desk. That's like my thing.
so the funny thing about that is that is actually that is same one because I'm trying to think of the brand. We've literally my wife and I have looked at that we're
That's a
redoing.
husky.
It's a husky, yeah.
It
We're
says it.
redoing our coffee stand here, and that's what I want to put in is that white one with
Dude,
the wood.
I highly recommend it. It's so dope. I got the adjustable one, so it like raises up and goes down and
Sure.
stuff. So
Because there's two different sizes. Yeah, I gotta get the right one because the one is too long for our kitchen wall. But
I have a
I love
buddy
it.
who would be like, "That's the dumbest piece of shit ever," and he'd be like, "Snap on or die."
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm
I know
like,
who that
yeah, I
is.
know who that is too. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I
I'm like,
like
I'm like, hey, can I borrow your Snap-on Air tool? He goes, no, you can. He's like, no, you're not touching it. And I'm like, my goal is now to steal something.
just each time just take
no,
something
Well,
tools are
just
personal for some people. It's kind of like golf clubs, you know?
yeah.
for
Well,
sure.
he's a Polaris Master Tech. He works on small gas engine, so it's like he kind of needs something like that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to borrow it for like the Ugga Duggas. And he's like, no, you got to get your own. And I'm like, I just want the fun Ugga Duggas. Anyways, yeah.
Enough about Snap-on Husky toolboxes. But anyway, yeah,
I
that
have a
is really dope.
I have a Husky
You-
toolkit in my car.
Do it?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it like that one?
Like that? No, it does say Husky though, and it's tools. I can
Nice.
take my wheel off.
Uh, this is golf and things as you can see, and it's been a while since we've recorded together. It's
The
been
last
it's a
couple
couple weeks
weeks.
off, so yeah,
Yeah,
we're
the
we're
last couple weeks has mainly been things.
we're been not golf.
Did you listen to the last two?
Brief, just a little bit
Oh,
the last or
damn. Yeah, no,
2 weeks
you
ago.
probably shouldn't.
Uh, but anyway, back to Kyle. So we want to learn more about you, your brand, business that you've started. What inspired you to combine your passion for golf and crafting leather goods?
Um, it's been a long time coming, honestly. I've been crafting leather goods for about 10 years. I started out, just making small things like keychains, wallets, belts, and stuff like that. But I didn't really have like a niche or anything to call my own. So I was just, making it for friends and family and stuff like that. And then about 2 years ago, I was uh, going to make like a tea holder that snaps onto your, not snaps, that clips onto your bag.
Yep.
And I was just reaching out to him, asking him about it because my friend Brian is an avid golfer, and he was just telling me about it, and he's like, "Yeah, bro, we're out here for like 4 hours, we're drinking, we're golfing, it's fun." And like back then, I was like, "Dude, I don't got 4 or 5 hours to give up." I got a family, I got a job and stuff, so it just kind of like died there. But like that interest was kind of planted in me, and then I think the biggest thing was I was afraid to play as a single as a new golfer. So I just kind of never really did it until I had another friend that was like golfing, and I messaged him, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, just come on out. I'll teach you all the etiquette, and all that stuff." And that kind of like eased my mind into it. And then I was like, "All right, let me." I went and bought some old clubs. I got some Ping I2s, and then we went out to Corona, which is about an hour from me, and it was like 109 or 10 degrees. But I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So we go out there and he makes that first turn at Eagle Glen. And bro, I still remember it. It's like the most beautiful thing. It was just like a wide open green.
Yeah.
And it was just so serene. And I was like, damn, you're out here for 4 or 5 hours. And yeah, we just had a blast and like the bug got me for sure. And then going back to being a new golfer, I felt like I was so disorganized and I didn't have, everything I needed on me. And on top of being a new golfer, all the swing thoughts and stuff. Because I remember clearly somebody was like, "Hey, it's time for you to tee off." So I walk up to the tee box, I'm digging around in my pockets. I'm like, "Oh shit, I don't have a tee." So now I gotta do the walk of shame back to my bag.
Been
you
there,
know,
done
grab
that.
my tees, and I come back and now I'm flustered and I end up slicing the ball, into the woods. And then I was just like, there has to be something that I can do about this. So I made the prototype. I wanted to put my tees, my divot tool, and my ball marker all into one. And then I took it out, and then I played and I got a par, I think. So I was really happy, and like I just felt like, all right, one less thing to worry about. And then yeah, and then I've just been in love with golfing ever since, and it's blessed me in so many ways, like being able to combine my passion for making leather goods into this. And then right now I'm trying to turn it into a business. So that's kind of like sections of my life that's always been separate, like business and then my art and then, my craft and stuff like that and my hobbies. And now I get to combine everything into one. So I'm just super thankful that, I get to do this, and I have amazing supporters like Cam. Shout out to Rush Golf. Um, he's
Cam.
like one of my biggest supporters, and he hooked us up. So just, people like him, and meeting you guys and stuff. So yeah.
So he messaged me today, and whenever he messages me, I'm always like, "Oh no, this is gonna be kind of weird." Um, he's like, "I can't like your post for some reason." I'm like, "I don't know, like really know what to tell you." I'm like, "I know you're liking it in spirit with like the little finger hearts," and I'm like, "I got you, big guy." It's funny that you mentioned the walk of shame and how you've done that. How many times have I asked you for a tea?
A few times.
Yeah, I don't do that walk of shame. I'm just like, Jared, just throw me a tea.
Yeah, go grab me a tea. I'm not walking over there.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
just
I'm going right off the deck here.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're just
Or you're like,
although
scrounging around looking for a tea off the ground. So
well, my favorite thing is you mentioned, you saw the course and it's like the coming to God moment. You're like, oh my God, I get it now.
Yep.
I introduced one of my good friends to golf. I think he hasn't played since we played. I didn't take him to a nice course, period. We played this really kind of junky little executive 9-hole course. I'm like, I'm not spending big bucks on you to like
Yeah.
lose everything, break my clubs, whatever. And then he damn near got a hole in one on his first time using like a 3-wood.
well,
I was like,
And he caught the bug back. He got the bug.
no, he has not played
Oh,
since.
he hasn't? Oh, lame sauce.
Well, he's married now, so maybe he will. Get out.
Okay,
Yeah,
get out and play.
I'll have to take him
he'll,
out.
he'll
But
he'll come around.
Yeah. So what? So you said 2 years ago is kind of when you picked up golf as well. Is that okay? So how long have you from playing golf to like now? When did you start Tea Time Leather?
Um, so I started golfing, I think it was around like June. And then I officially started the business. August 1st was my like, you know, incorporation date, where I started like getting all my
you,
website and everything together and started like being official.
you got that bug quick then. If
Yeah.
you like, just like fuck it, done.
Light bulb went up. I got this, and then
Ask my wife, man. Like she'd be like, yeah, this dude thought he was going pro. Like I would, get off early from work and go try to squeeze in around, or like before work, I would work on chipping and putting. Um, and then I thought I was killing it. I was like, I'm working 2 jobs, I'm killing it at home. And my wife's like, nah, dude, you need to calm down. Like, and I was like, all right, okay, we'll manage this a little bit better.
So you had mentioned the pre-shot, brain stuff going on, pre-shot thoughts.
Yeah.
Um, do you feel like being more organized in terms of your pockets? Because you mentioned as soon as you had, your I don't know what to call it, but like your leather thing that had your bow marker, your tee, and then your tool, did that kind of like calm you down knowing that, hey, I'm ready to tackle this hole? Because then you said you got a par, which I don't even get pars. I'm a bogey guy.
Yeah.
Did that
I'm
like
even
calm you
like a
down and help
bogey
your
guy
help your game?
too. Yeah. For sure. I feel like it helped me out a lot. Just knowing that, like for me, I try to be conscientious of like slow play and, being in people's line. One thing I didn't even know was like when somebody's on the tee box, I would be in the back, like just swinging away. And then somebody's like, yo, don't do that. I'm like, oh shoot, my bad. Like, you're over here, I'm over here. But I guess I could see how it could be distracting. Um, so yeah, so like I just try to be like, okay, if I have like a pitch mark I need to fix, then I have everything I need to fix it. Or if I need to mark my ball. I remember playing with this gentleman, and he was so good, and he was like, hey, can you mark your ball? And I was like, oh crap, I didn't have a ball marker, and then I had to. He threw me his ball marker, and I had to use it, and I just felt like, oh, I'm an idiot, you know.
Sure.
Even though he probably doesn't even care, but to me, I'm like, oh, you know.
Yep. No, I've been in that situation too, where it's like, gosh darn it, I just forgot my divot tool in the my bag.
Well, it's funny enough, like I'm the same way. Like, um, Mark from Kraken sent us each the repair tools that are, they're wood engraved or wood.
like
Yeah,
a
there's
lightning bolt.
yeah, there's lightning bolt, there's wood in it, and then he lasered our logo onto it. And
Nice.
then he's got like this case you put everything in. It's got two T's, your ball marker, and then your repair tool. I forget everything in the cart. And if it's too big and bulky, I really don't want to carry it and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I'm the same way. That's why I wanted to ask you.
Mhm.
Because yeah, I'll throw that thing in my pocket the entire round. I'm like, oh, cool. I need a ball marker. It's right there. I can throw it down. Oh, I need to fix this pitch mark. Boom, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of the same way. I'm not well organized, like in general, but like
Mhm.
with certain aspects of things, I'm like, I really just want to be prepared. And I think that really calms me down.
Yeah. I feel like after I got like a pre-shot routine, and like I have a routine for everything now, I just play better. Like if
Mhm.
I forget my tool holder or my glove holder, it's, I don't know if you guys saw it, but it's like a little clip on it, and it has a Velcro pad, so you can put it onto your pants, and then you can just clip your glove onto it. If I forget either of those two things, like I feel like I'm gonna have a bad round because I start to do my pre-shot routine and it's not there, you know, and I'm like, oh, so it just throws my game off a little bit. So
I
yeah.
should get something like that because I lost a glove the other couple weeks ago.
Y-
It
Well,
just, I swear, it fucking just flew away. I hit, I hit a really sweet knockdown 2-iron, like
Mhm.
drove the green. Like I'm like, cool. I'm a one putt this bitch and make birdie.
Mhm.
And then I went back to my cart to play the next hole, like hole 18, gone.
Yep.
So I ended up finishing the round with no shoes. I lost my golf glove.
no shirt, no service.
No, I had all that, but like I had no shoes. Forgot my golf glove. God knows where it is.
Sometimes that golf glove though sneaks out in the back of the golf cart.
Oh no, I checked.
You did okay. I was saying
Gone.
because sometimes like slips out like on the back seat and they
So
like
somebody has a
falls
really
down.
nice G4 glove out there now for free.
No,
Uh,
that's actually the inspiration for me making that glove holder. I would sometimes put it on my bag, and then sometimes put it on my pocket in my pocket, and then one day it just disappeared, and then I was like, damn. I really like finding problems and then just finding a solution for it, you know.
sure.
So
What
whatever like solution, like problems I find when I'm golfing, I'm like, I can make something for that. So that's just my
I like
train of
that you went the leather route too. I feel like a lot of people in the golf space who try to find these solutions or whatever use like brass or metal or just kind of overdo it in my
thought.
mind. Not that there's anything wrong with making something a little overdone, because I'm a big fan of that, where it's like, wow, this is never going to break and I never have to replace it. But there's just something elegant about leather. And I was telling Derek earlier before we hopped on, I'm a big fan of leather because it patinas for everybody differently. That it's truly an art form. And then all of a sudden it's different person to person, depending how you
Mhm.
touch it, the oil's in your hands.
Yeah.
I think natural leather is super fun and super cool to use. You guys were talking about watches earlier. It's just like a nice leather watch band or like a nice
Mhm.
leather belt.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta send you something, man. Now that I know that you love leather, I'll hook you guys up with something.
Sounds a
For
little
sure.
weird saying I love leathers.
Well,
I-
I was gonna go back to so I'm just looking at the one that I was viewing this video earlier. It's the elephant print handmade leather organizer that you have. It's black with the elephant print on it. And how many times you probably found this out when you first started, but you bring a couple tees in your pocket, next thing you know, you're getting stabbed by a wooden tee or a plastic tee, right? And I think that's kind of the beauty of this product. It holds three tees, or I mean, you could probably shove a few more in there, but it nicely fits three tees. And the leather is longer than the tee cover, the tee itself. So when you put that in your pocket, you're not having to worry
You know
about
what I
getting
call that?
what's that?
Being well engineered.
Exactly. See, well, like you said,
appreciate that. I
he
appreciate that.
likes finding a problem and solving it, and that's why I wanted to bring that up because like that was my first thought. I'm like, it's something that's not very big and bulky because that is another issue. Like you put something in your pocket. You don't want it like weighing, not necessarily weighing you
Well,
down,
and
but you don't want like three
and because it's leather, it's light,
exactly.
you know.
And so you don't want all these different things in your pocket. Well, you kind of utilize one item to put a couple things in there. And so I think it's a really brilliant idea, and the look of it is really, really cool. So
Thank
um
you.
well done. And I think it's speaks volume, like you said, as far as you like to find a problem and then solve it. And for you to only be playing golf for just a short period of time, I think
Every
it's
time you say
impressive.
that, Ice Baby goes off in my head.
What's that?
Got a problem? Yo, I solved. I was like, shut the fuck up, Derek.
That was my jam back in the day.
I wasn't alive yet.
Yeah,
But
like that.
yes,
Sorry, that
oh
product is like
yeah,
one of those things where when you see it, you either like, dude, I love it, I need that in my life, or you're like, I don't really know if I need that. But once you try it and you go and play one round with it, I guarantee you, you're like, oh, I need this in my life. Like, it's I believe in it that much. So like, um, I believe the best advertising is word of mouth. So
yeah,
I'll send it out
100%.
to creators that I kind of vibe with, and
Yeah.
and they just kind of like they love it, and then it just speaks for itself. So
Sure. The one thing that I was thinking like what I would put in there is that I'm a huge like fanatic of chapstick. Like that's one thing that I can't go
Mhm.
without.
Jesus Christ,
So
yeah.
you could literally just make one of those just a little bit,
We do
bigger loop, and you can tuck the
we
chapstick in there.
do
So now it's like two T's or three T's with the chapstick.
we do gifts every year for Christmas because
Mm,
we love each other
yeah.
sometimes. I got him this cool like Burt's Bees tin one year. It's just
Okay.
chapstick, just
Yeah,
nothing.
and I go through all my chapstick, so
He
like
was I've
it's
never seen him so excited for anything in his life.
so that would be my one thing right there. It's like I
The
mean I don't
chapstick holder. What about like a
Yeah,
keychain
I got
chapstick
you.
holder?
no, I just like something in my pocket because like teas in my pocket, chapstick in my pocket, divot to my pocket. So now it's just eliminate everything all in one spot. So I don't know if you get anyone that had mentioned that, but that would
I
be
think
my
that's probably just a you
We can
thing.
could
make
be
we can
just a
make it
me
happen,
thing. Yeah, it's just a me thing, whatever. So you've created leather bag tags, pocket organizers. We just talked about divot tool holders. What has been like your favorite product you've created so far?
Probably that divot tool and T holder. I've been trying to like give it a name, but nobody really knows the name. I call it the Palmer after Arnold Palmer, but the Palmer because it fits in the palm of your hand,
I like it.
type thing. So yeah, that's definitely like my favorite thing that I've made, and I use it, every single round.
I'd say like Palm Buddy, but that sounds really weird too. I
I
don't
like the
like that.
Palmer. I like the
Palmer.
Palmer. Yeah, I like that.
Is that the best seller too?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
How long does it take you from like start to finish to actually make one?
So when I first started, I would make it by hand. Um, but now I've got the production like process down so that it takes me probably like um 30 minutes, 15 to
Damn.
30 minutes to get it
Not bad.
finished and sewn
Yeah,
up. But
yeah.
like the tedious part is like finishing the edge, painting the edge, letting it
Yeah.
dry, and then sanding it down. That takes a while, but in total, like probably like 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah.
Like, who's your biggest demographic as far as like, do you do like a lot of like maybe
Golfers.
bingo, like bachelor party like gifts or anything like that, like or wedding gifts?
Not yet, not
Smart
yet.
ass over here.
I've had some people order like
Oh,
multiples of it for gifts, but
Sure.
yeah, for sure, like that would definitely be part of the dream to be able to um make stuff for bachelor parties and things like
Yeah.
that because it's a pretty special gift. You're giving it to your groomsmen and stuff. So
Right. Well,
um,
that's kind of what I was thinking. And even like maybe like a Father's Day, Mother's Day, like you know what I mean? It's a really cool product. And I think with the leather, it just feels a little bit more meaningful, I guess, in a way.
yeah,
Um,
I've
well,
invested.
I feel like whenever I think of leather, and I think this is why I'm such like a fan of it, I always think of like stuff that gets passed down. So like for instance, like my great grandpa, I told him just like him. I don't really know him. He died when I was really little. But I'm told I have like the same mannerisms and unfortunately like the same lack of a filter at times and the same affinity for rum, apparently, which is
Really?
kind of dope. I don't know. I might just be adding that in for fun.
Yeah, I think you are.
But he has all these tools that he makes, like actual like wrenches and stuff that he has like melted, bent a certain way and stuff like that gets handed down. But then like we have these like leather pouches. Like I have one that he made out of like a deer skin. And you can tell the patina, you can tell everything. And I think that's like the beauty of leather and stuff like that is because as generations get it, it tells a story versus stuff where it's like, oh, this is metal, which fine, like metal does patina, it does, blue and stuff like that. But I think that's where leather's really cool. It's just like an affinity for it. That thing is sick too.
Yeah. With the Tomo, I'm on the Instagram just kind of going through. I was looking at it earlier, but I really like the Tomo divot tool elephant print.
Thank
God, we
you.
had Sunny
With
on last year
yeah,
or a couple years ago.
a couple years ago, yeah.
Oh, nice,
Um,
nice.
what? So you said that you were kind of in the space before the golf when you started picking up golf. What were you design? You said keychains and all that stuff, but did you just do it like on the side, or did you have like a business as well that you were
No,
just kind of just for
yeah,
fun?
I would, like think about creating a business and stuff. But I never really did it. So I'm an X-ray tech by schooling. So I did
Yep.
that for a couple years after school, and then my family, we own some restaurants, and then I kind of got into the family business, helped grow that. Figured out that that's not what I love to do, and then I took a step back from that, and then but so grateful for that because I was able to take everything I learned business wise and now apply it to my own business. So yeah.
That's awesome. Have you had any issues with like
Oh,
getting materials as far as like leathers or like different like any raw materials? Did you have any issues with that?
No,
No.
I think maybe during COVID that would have been an issue, but I started like in 2022, so
So
at
kind of
that
stuff was
point,
getting back to normalcy a
yeah,
little.
everything was pretty much
Okay.
normal. Yeah.
Um,
I also see you're a big fan of Stogies and Bogies. Um, Jesse's in our group chat. He and I flirt all the time. Sup, Jesse?
Yeah.
He's another dude that's again just like you, found a problem,
Yeah.
solved it, and is just like, I mean, blown up. Like he's in Dick's Sporting Goods now.
He's a huge inspiration for me. Like I watch his stuff and I'm like, yo, I love everything he does, he's so creative, and um him getting into like the PGA store, I was like, dude, that's so amazing. Like, I
yeah,
definitely want to like pick his brain and see and talk to him, like, how he got there and stuff, because that's where I want to be, like
We can
um,
set that up if you ever need to. Let me know. Like we know Jesse, he's come out to one of our events. I remember
nice.
I met him. I was a little drunk. And I'm like, holy shit, you're tall. He's like, I get that a lot. He's like, you want to hit this shot? And I'm like, no. He's like, hit it. And like, it was a pretty solid shot, but it was short. And I'm like,
Mhm.
you can take it back. Um, he is a like, obviously, I see you have like the leather humidor. I have one as well. Um, any plans to do anything like that? I know you did the two cigar holder, which is super cool.
mhm.
Yeah.
Um, is that like another avenue you want to go?
Yes, sir. So eventually I want to grow this business into like a producer or manufacturer for like leather goods for the golfing community. Because like when I started this business, I was hand making everything, but I ran into the problem of like, how do I scale this? You know,
Mhm.
so I explored the possibility of working, with manufacturers in China and stuff. But I've quickly found out that like it's the communication is so hard, the wait time of getting a sample made and sent over, and I felt like I was just wasting money and time. And then they would be like, "Yeah, you need to get 1,000 of these." I'm like, I don't know if I could sell 1,000 of these, bro. Like this is a big investment.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Instead of me putting my money into one product and one kind of all my eggs into one basket, I was like, I'm gonna get a sewing machine and I'm gonna build out my workshop, and I'm gonna be the person that makes my own things. And then I really love working uh, with speed. So like an idea comes to me, I want to be able to like bring it from my brain or whoever I'm collaborating with, from an idea to a prototype to a finished product, and then we get it out there. And then, if people like it, cool. We got a product that we don't know that people like. If not, then we take it back to the drawing board and we figure out what we need to do. And you don't have to invest, thousands of dollars into that. And that it's coming from, small business, and it's made in California, so that's the ultimate goal.
That's awesome.
Well, and I think it's so much better than, because there's all these like luxury brands that use leather, like Gucci, Prada, Coach being a little bit smaller.
Mhm.
I saw this guy on TikTok and he cuts apart all the leather and like determines like, hey, this $400 leather belt only uses like 20 bucks worth of leather. I would much rather buy it from somebody like you where it's like, hey, I handmade this, it's in my shop. I'm sure you inspect everything, and if it's flawed, you redo it. I'm sure you're not sending out,
I have
stuff.
a whole drawer full of rejects, man. Like
And you're supporting a small business as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's small business. It's, made in the US.
Mhm.
Obviously for us it's not, Minnesota made, which is fine. It's California made. We have a lot of connections, a lot of friends over there. Might as well be our second home.
Yeah.
I've only been there once, but I feel like I'm a Californian. Maybe more of a Bay Area native.
Mhm.
Um, but like stuff like that, I just feel like it goes such a long way where yes, you could buy it on Amazon from someone in China or from these big brands, and I'm like, or you could just do the research, find somebody who's gonna hand make it and love this thing forever,
Mhm.
because maybe one day, when you retire from golf or whatever, now your kid has all this stuff, and you're like, hey, my dad made this.
Yeah, pass it along.
And then they pass and say, hey, my grandpa made this, and it still looks pristine. Like
Mhm.
to me, that's the beauty of it. And that's the type of stuff that I don't want to say gets me going, but it's like that's the type of stuff that I want to support.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Are
Um,
there are
I'm
there
real
any
kind of
are there
mushy.
any new products or designs that you're currently working on or excited to talk about?
yeah, I've got all kinds of projects going on. I've been reaching out to creators that I love, and we have a bunch of projects lined up. I've been posting like little teasers and stuff. Like one of the biggest ones is Golf Life Metals. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Mm-mm.
Oh. So this dude makes these and these.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he does amazing work. His name's John, Golf
Yeah.
Life Metals. He's based in New York. So he actually made these and they got into the pockets of some like professional golfers on the PGA Tour. And so, we've been working together. I don't know if I'm allowed to show this, but we partnered together to make a football inspired holder. And then, so it just kind of slides in there like that. And then this one slides right in here
I like it.
like that. And then he calls it pocket leather. So I love it. I'm like, yeah, that's sick.
I'm
That is,
surprised you haven't talked about the basketball stuff he's
yeah,
made.
I was gonna bring that up.
Of
I
course you
saw it
were.
earlier. I'm a big basketball guy, but um, so like kind of you'd kind of just mentioned it, but I always typically ask like
Hold
when
on.
it's an entrepreneur about like their 1 year, 5 year goals. But have you
So
ever talked about
before you ask that, what would the Safe Bar leather holder collaboration look like?
Oh yeah, I would love to. 'Cause
probably just the logo itself?
No, no, no. Like what would it
Oh, I don't know.
like? Because obviously you didn't ask us. That's fine. We're not saying we know we're not trying to do that. But I think if we were gonna do it, we got to do a basketball leather for you.
I think the basketball leather would look really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I never really thought of it. I was more like on the side of like would be like licensing. You know what I mean? Where you're actually like doing teams with
Yeah, that's
this
that would
with
be
the
amazing.
you
But I
know what
know
I
it's
mean?
kind of pricey. But
Yeah,
eventually we want to get there. Like right now, I'm just a one-man show, but
sure.
my nephew, he's started to help me out. So I'm training him to like just kind of operate the laser engraver and like to cut out pieces for me, and then I'll craft it. So we're slowly expanding, and then um, the dream is to get into like the pro shops, PGA
Yep.
Tour Superstore, online. Um, but it's just small steps right now. So
Taking baby steps, which is yeah,
yeah.
that's I mean it's kind of brick by brick,
Yeah,
right? You gotta take your time.
you can ask your entrepreneur question. It just
Oh,
kind of came
no,
to my mind where I'm like, damn, what would a Safe Bar
Yeah, I never really thought
collab
of
look
that.
like?
I was just like, so we were talking about the basketball, and that was one of my questions as far as like the licensing, because I saw the football and the basketball. Um, but I was gonna ask, you talked about buying like the sewing machine and all that. Where did the like did you just hop on YouTube and you're like, I'm gonna figure out how to sew? Or did you have experience? I know you said made the keychains and stuff like we'd mentioned earlier, but where did that come from? Like, where did that bug get you? Like, I want to learn how to do it myself.
Um, I think it goes back to me being a little kid. Growing up, our family, uh, my mom and dad are first generation or immigrants, and I'm first generation Vietnamese American. So when I was little, I clearly remember coming home from school and my sisters, I have a huge family. There's my five sisters are in the garage.
Jesus Christ.
The
That's awesome.
sweatshop, dude. It's a
Yeah.
straight up sweatshop. We had a bunch of sewing machines, and they would just sew and stuff after
Cool.
class, after school. And
Mhm.
I would try to help out by like gluing the little labels on, that's
Yeah.
all I did. But just that entrepreneur spirit of like, and of just trying to achieve the American dream. I think that stuck with me um, throughout my life. And then growing up, we didn't really have a ton of money. I love sneakers, but I couldn't really afford it. So always draw. I was like designing my own sneakers and stuff and drawing it. I remember I had a pair of Dunks and I really wanted some SB Dunks, with a fat tongue and stuff. And then I couldn't afford it. So I bought the regular Dunks. I, opened up the tongue, stuffed it, um, sewed the little tag back on. And I was like, yeah, I got me a pair of sweet, gray Dunks, SB Dunks. um, and just things like that. Like I really love working with my hands and yeah, just crafting things.
Feel like it's a lot easier too nowadays. It's like we have so much like we have access to so many different like videos of
Oh,
like
for
how to
sure.
do certain things, right? Like
Yeah.
you kind of had an idea of what you were
Instagram.
doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
YouTube
very
is
powerful.
100% where I've learned most things. Just watching other people like make stuff, and I'm like little things that I would never know. I watched it, and I'm like, oh, so that's how they do it, So just little things like that.
Do you ever like send any like messages to maybe there's an Instagram account that you like really like and you're like, hey, how do you do this? Because I know like we've talked about this with other entrepreneurs in the golf space where like there's a lot of it's a pretty tight knit community, so to speak, where
Yeah, you sometimes you'll get in. Like I'm super lucky. I do a lot of photography on the
Mm,
side. Incredibly lucky to own two Leicas, and one of them being an M2.
wow.
Literally, like one of my dream cameras. Um, I'm in this thing for the long haul. It's so expensive. I could have bought a car, and now I have a camera. One of many. But like I'm incredibly lucky to be able to pick the brain of someone we're really close to who shoots for the Niners and shoots for the NFL and currently has his stuff being displayed in the Leica store in San Francisco.
it's like
Nice.
That's not something that anybody can just do, right? So sometimes you'll get lucky and like on Instagram, and I hate how clicky
yeah,
the different companies can be, where it's like, you're not trying to rip them off. You're just like, hey, how do I do this?
Mhm.
sure.
And I think that's the beauty of the golf community at times. But I also feel like it's at times where you're just like, God, you should just answer my damn question and I'll get on my way.
No, there's everyone that I've met through golf has been so open to like sharing and
Well, that's good.
supporting each other.
Mhm.
Another person would be Dane from Matchstick Golf.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it's like
yeah,
golf.
so,
Yep.
so I reached out to him and just been talking to him and you know, kind of like you kind of picking his brain a little bit, and he's been a huge help. And we're in the talks of collaborating and maybe working together in the future. So yeah, everyone that I've met so far through golf has been like whatever you need, just ask the question type of thing.
I got a message about a collaboration with you and I.
Good.
Yeah, we'll talk
Nice.
after because you're so in. Yeah, I didn't want to answer for you, but I was like, yeah, we're in. Um, how did Virgil play a part into like your inspiration and everything? Virgil Abloh.
I know who
Okay,
Virgil
I was
is.
just checking because you were like,
I've done some
well,
offline
I
stuff.
know, I know, but you're like, where is this going?
He's a huge inspiration, like him and his designs and his way of looking at design and fashion and style. I listen to his old interviews and stuff, and it's like it's a huge inspiration for me. And shout out to Jordan Rogers. He's the one that posted that Virgil Abloh clip kind of narrating what he was doing, and I was like, that's so sick, you know, like I want to kind of put my little twist on that. So, and you know, I I also have like that conflict of like, okay, do I focus on one thing and just
Yeah.
try to push that, or do I just be creative and just create, right? And just, you know, hopefully someday it gets into the right people's the algorithm catches it or whatever, and it gets the right people see it, you know, and it just takes off. So right now I'm just like, you know what? I just love creating stuff. So I don't really care who's watching, how many views it gets. I just like to create and like to collaborate with people.
Is that what he says? Like 5 to 10 projects. Isn't that like one of his quotes?
Yeah.
It's
I
like
mean,
he's like
also
5 to 10 projects at a time. He's always doing something.
you also just described ADD in the most like beautiful way possible.
I honestly think I have ADD because my
Yeah.
wife said you need to focus on one product and just push that. I'm like, no, like I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. And that's just how my brain works.
I was formally diagnosed at a young age. So it's like I'm one of the weirdos who was like actually like medically diagnosed with ADD.
I think everyone has it to an extent,
Oh, I'm
right?
very like you spend an hour with me, you're like, what the fuck are you doing? But yeah, like and like when Virgil passed, it's like one of those things where it's like outside of sneakers and fashion, nobody knows who he is, but like his design is literally everywhere.
Mhm.
And that's how I feel about Pharrell too. And I know Pharrell had to kind of not step in to Virgil's shoes because you just don't step into his shoes, right?
Yeah.
Pharrell is also just like a creative genius where
Mhm.
musically incredibly gifted. And
Yeah.
then like fashion wise, what he's doing in Louis Vuitton, you're just like, I don't know where this came from,
Yeah.
but
I
his
have
brain is
I have a
crazy.
quote from him that I have saved that I'm gonna make a video of, and he's just like, you know, I love like collaborating with somebody. You kind of have to know to like step back and let them shine, type of thing.
Hmm.
That's what I've been, you know, trying to practice. Like, okay, like I've learned to ask like with the people that I'm collaborating with, like, what can I do for you? You know, like what are your goals? What are your dreams? And then, you know, we go from there.
Well, and that's exactly what this is, right? We were talking to Roger Steele, and I was saying this, we basically created this platform to give it away, right?
Mhm.
I don't care if we get 1 billion streams, I don't care if we get 10 streams. The fact of the matter is, this is for you. You know, this is obviously we created this platform, but we're giving you, you know, your time to shine
Mhm.
because we truly believe in what you're doing. And that's something Derek and I have sat down many times and been like, dude, what happens if we don't blow up? And we're always come to the same conclusion. We're having fun. Who cares if we blow up or not?
Yep.
You know, I know the people that listen to us on a weekly basis really enjoy us. And I know that because they talk to us every week about it. Um, and I get funny messages all the time where it's like, Dom, you shouldn't say that. And I'm like, but you're listening and you caught it. Greg is one of those guys from the Pioneer Six. He's like, it's so funny that you always say that I'm the one who's going to yell at you, and I'm like, but here you are yelling at me. Um, and we do it because we enjoy it. We're not doing it to make $1 billion or to explode. If we blow up, sweet. Has that
Mhm.
happened? No. I maybe a PGA pro is like, who the fuck are these two? And here we are. You know, I don't know if that's happened. I know we've had PGA pros on, which
We've
is
had a lot of
cool,
big guests. I mean, that's the thing. Like every
but
guest we have is some like whether
it
it's an entrepreneur
it's
or
someone that we're like,
interested in wanting to learn about and
yeah.
talk to,
And
and
it's always
it's
somebody that we're like, we either look up to you, we've been following you for a while, or we're just super into what you're doing and wanna, see if we can help you in any way.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
That's awesome.
and I really appreciate that you're the same way where you're like, I don't care how many views we get, blah blah. I was just telling Derek, obviously he's been gone for 2 weeks. He's been doing like a little bit of social media detox.
Mhm.
I post 2 reels every week for the podcast, and I'm like, they're just not doing well. And then I did one unboxing hats, and that's the one that is popping right now.
Mhm.
Um,
The algorithm's so crazy. It's so
It
weird.
it
is.
doesn't make sense, but it's like I'm not gonna stop because it's
Yeah.
like we've had so many great conversations, and it's like I don't want to not post about it.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
algorithm's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Saturday at 10 a.m. and it's still getting views. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. It's like sometimes I'll spend, you know, a ton of time on a video and I post it and it's like crickets. I'm like, all right. And then like I'll go to the driving range and it's just balls falling into a bucket. Boom,
Yeah,
20,000 views. I'm like,
it's
what?
crazy. Isn't it crazy how it works like that? Yeah, I feel like even like I'm not a big TikTok fan by any means, but I feel like their algorithm is even it's
TikTok doesn't make sense to me either, bro. I'm
yeah,
like,
it's I love Instagram, but yeah, the algorithm is definitely it's changing constantly. But to go back to like the collaborative side and like talking about Virgil
Oh
and
yeah, so not to interrupt, but that reminds me, it's like we had a really like long string of like reels not doing anything. And then the reel of Derek spraying his golf grip with gecko cleaner and rubbing it. I was like, well, don't know what the hell's going on, but that popped off and then it just nose dove again. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what,
it's weird. You
like
sometimes
it's
like
literally just you spraying your grip.
you get into like the like it like you'll hit like several videos of like right in a row and then all of a sudden like it'll plateau and then drop and then all of a
yep,
sudden it's like you do photos. It's weird. Like photos for the longest time obviously is like how it really popped. It was all photos, memes, whatever it might be. And then it went to reels and then it's kind of went back to photo. It's just really weird. But so yeah, it's kind of hard to really track.
yeah.
But on the collaborative side, I know you said you kind of have stuff in the works right now, but if there's one company that you would like to collaborate with, who would it be? Could be
That's a
anything. Like it doesn't have to be even golf related. It could just be in general, like just any type of company.
mm, um Malbon.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're awesome. Steven,
The more I listen to interviews with him, the more I like him.
he's awesome.
Because
Mhm.
at first take, you're like, oh, he's kind of douchey. And then you like actually sit down and listen to him and you're like, holy shit, he actually cares and
Mhm.
he's doing it because he loves it and not doing it to make $1 billion. Granted, his
Yeah,
company is
his
super
interview
popular.
about his like addiction and
Yep.
replacing a bad addiction with a good addiction. I'm like, dude,
Mhm.
that's me right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I sat down and I actually watched the interview where he was like, hey man, like I kept doing all these things and then I kept going back to golf. And I was like, oh my God, this is so interesting. So
Yeah, he's cool dude.
I
That's a good
wish his stuff was a little bit more affordable so then I'd have a lot of it, but god damn is it nice.
This is nice. Yeah, I had a couple of his shirts at one time and it's really cool to see him too. Like me and him messaged back and forth like a long time ago and just kind of see like
Wow.
where they've where he's taken off.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
really cool. Then also like he's in the video game, like
Hmm.
that's
Oh,
so
Oh,
dope.
really?
him and Ben Baller are just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Well, they have that part three podcast. It's
yeah.
really cool. Um, is there anything that you would like to add before or you would like to ask? We were gonna hop into some rapid fire questions and we can kind of wrap it up, but I just want to make sure that if there's anything that you wanted to add that we may maybe missed.
No, I'm good.
I'll tell Jesse you're a fan. Don't worry, I got you.
Thank you.
He'll probably flirt with me a little bit, but that's okay.
This Oh, okay. All right. So we'll kick it off here. So if you could design any accessory for any professional golfer, who would it be and what would you create? So it could be an item that you already have created, but what item would it be and who would the golfer be?
Um, I would love to get one of my Palmers, into Min Lee's hands.
Mm.
I just love him, man. He's just swag out there, and I love like the campaign that Lululemon is doing for him. I'm like, that's sick, and
Yeah.
it's different,
I love I love that he interacts with like fans and stuff on social media
Yeah.
too.
Let him cook.
Um,
Like that whole thing was just genius, bro. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
they all came out there with their little hats and stuff.
Super smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows how to
Well,
advertise.
I just feel like golfers don't like interact with people, whereas all of a sudden you see Minwoo Lee just like shooting the shit with people in his comments. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, I like him.
Well, that's the cool thing about golf nowadays too, is it's always been really stuffy in all sorts of aspects, and even on that side. And now it's like some of these players are trying to relate with a lot of the fans, and it's a
Yeah.
great way to do so. So I like that. That's a
Well,
really
last week I had Matt and JJ on from No Bunker, No Bogeys. They were talking about how the LPGA does such a good job interacting with people, but also hyping up their stars. And,
mhm.
you've got all these things where it's like Nelly Corda and obviously, what's her name is on a tear.
She just won the
Yes,
Lydia
Lydia
Ko.
Ko
Yep.
is on just a tear, and feel like they're more vocal than the PGA is, and it's a little bit more interactive with the fans, and I think that's so cool. I
Mhm.
don't know where I was going with that. Sometimes I just say things and hope I get there.
It's all good.
Same here.
Um,
It's the EDD in me.
Um, what's let's see. Okay, yeah. Do you have a favorite Instagram page? Golf related or non-golf related, doesn't matter.
Um, Tea Time Leather. Yeah.
Okay, other than
Okay,
yours.
other than yourself, yeah. That's a
Kicks
good
covers.
answer.
Now Kicks covers. That
Okay,
dude has been a huge inspiration, and he's been a huge support for me. Like I love
awesome.
everything he does. And he's a huge fan of the elephant print. And you know,
Sure.
when we started talking, I thought he'd be like, since he had so many followers, he'd be like, you know, get out of here, dude. I want to work with you, type thing. But he was like, bro, I love your stuff. Like, I have an idea for this, and then we just connected, you know, and he's been a huge support for me and a
That's
mentor
awesome.
in a way.
We did a pod. I don't think you were there.
No.
I did a pod with him a while back. If you're ever curious, want to go listen to like his thought process.
Okay.
He talked. Oh God, way too long. But yeah, no, super cool guy. We have custom driver covers that he made us, and super cool.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
awesome.
like scrolling back to see when it was. Um, October of 2023. So you scroll back a little bit, but we had him on. Super cool guy. Um, really, really enjoyed it. Talked about his embroidery and everything.
Hmm. Yeah, he's got like the dream workshop. So
What
He really does.
what's your favorite watch?
um my Rolex, the 16710. I just love it because, you know, like if I feel like being a little flashy, I got the Pepsi bezel on it. If I want to be more low key, I'll switch out to the black bezel. If I'm feeling like not as flashy, but you know, I want to have a little bit of pop, I'll put the Coke on. So I just love that I can change out the bezels, change out the bracelet, put a leather band on, a black band on, and it can be, it's basically, to me, it's like six different watches in one. So
Yeah, very universal or versatile.
mhm.
Don, I'll let you ask these next two questions.
Where are we?
Right here.
Oh, I would say you skipped one, so
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
confused.
yeah.
You should ask that one.
You want me to ask this one?
No, 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 the one you
Oh,
skipped,
um,
the top one,
yeah.
because
Well,
I think it.
I think you already kind of hinted at, but I can ask it. But what's your favorite product that you've designed so far or created so far?
uh, for sure my divot tool and T holder.
Yeah.
The
Hallmark.
second would be the glove holder. Um, yeah, those two are my favorite. Just because I know that, you know, it provides people with like utility. I've had so many people tell me like, "Yeah, dude, I forgot your glove holder and it's, you know, my game's not right." And so that's, to me, that's like the biggest compliment. I'm like, yes, I designed something that somebody uses and that they love, and you know, it actually functions for them. So
Sure.
for, I don't know, designers out there, like form and function is like the ultimate, the grail, you know, when you get both in, it's like, all right, I did something.
You're onto something. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll ask. I just thought that was a really good question.
Yeah.
Outside of golf, what's your favorite sneaker? Because I know you and I talked about it a little bit. Not shoes, but I'm a fan. I have way
Mhm.
too many.
I have a okay Jordan collection.
Hmm.
I love Nikes, Dunks. My favorite would probably be the Jordan 3 cements with the little bit of elephant print on the back. I growing up, I was never able to afford them. So when the Reimagine came out, I was like, oh dude, I'm sold, you know, like I scooped them up immediately.
Heck yeah.
What's yours?
Favorite shoe. I would probably have to say the 85 Jordan 1. That's one of my all-time favorites that I want to own one day. But I would say I really do like the 11s. And a funny story about that, I forgot to tell you yesterday. So I went thrifting
Dude,
yesterday.
I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks.
It's been a while, but I went thrifting randomly.
He
I used
didn't
to do
even
it.
he
I
didn't
used to do it
even
a lot.
text me.
I used to do it a lot. What?
He didn't even text me in 2 weeks. I had to text
A
you.
little bit of texting. I literally went on like a power down,
Nice.
full on detox. And
That's good.
I kind of actually really enjoyed it.
Everyone's like, "Where's Derek?" I'm like, "I don't know. Ask Derek."
Yeah, I
He's on
honestly like
sabbatical.
it felt great. That is the one thing. Like I actually really enjoyed it. I haven't really been on Safe Par for probably 2 to 3 weeks, and it's
You want to take over the
Mm.
pod and then I can take 2 weeks off?
no, like just take it off. I mean, honestly, it's just you can fire it back up. But I ended up finding a pair of Jordan 11 Bread Lows, the 2015
Oh,
release, and they were $9 and they were my size and They're
Dude.
I cleaned them up, and it's funny. I had like a discount, so I got them for $7.
Hmm.
Oh
They actually look
man.
pretty good. So I'm like, but the Jordan 11s are probably one of my favorite shoes. But like after a lot of wear and tear, though, they just don't look very great. But as a brand new
Yeah.
shoe, it is probably besides the Space Jam and the Breads are probably my two favorite shoes.
Hmm.
But they
Nice.
just and the threes, the 88 three cements or the 88, those are sick.
Yeah.
How about you?
So I'm thinking of like the ones I own. One of my all-timers, I have the black Levi Jordan 4s.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, did you get two pair of
Okay.
those at one
No,
Wow.
point?
I should have gotten two because I wanted to distress one, and
Oh
then
yeah,
all
that's
of a
what it
sudden the
was.
prices went
Through the roof.
bonkers. I love those. One of my low-key favorites are the metallic red ones. I got those back in like
Nice.
2016 on clearance, and every time I wear them, everyone's like, "The hell are those?" I'm like, "Oh, like you just kind of had to be around in 2016, like collecting." And I mean, I've been doing it since 2013, 2014. Um,
Okay.
so then when the new ones with the 85 cut came out, I overspent on GOAT and bought them early. No regrets. So it's like it's cool because I have
Same
the
thing here.
lows, the highs, and then the
Mhm.
85 cut, brand new in box still.
Nice.
Um, I actually have a pair of 97 12s.
Mm-hmm. I had a
Whoa.
pair of the 95 11s at one point. I
Well,
bought them actually from NetMeg.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I
what's his name? Oh,
I don't know, but I wanted a pair of shoes as old as I was. So for my birthday one year, I bought a pair of original Flint 12s from 1997.
The Flint 12s. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, maybe they're not the
So you guys are
Flints.
true sneakerheads. I love it. You guys are pulling out like,
What are they?
sneakers that most people don't really talk about.
yeah.
That's my thing. I've always been into
One of my favorite shoes that I do own actually
French blue. I'm sorry, they're
are the
the
French
French
Blue.
blue 12s, yeah, from 97. The Flint is the 13.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
It's the same freaking color.
just a different model.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm sorry, the French blue 12s from 97. But
Gotcha.
yeah, my big thing is I've always enjoyed shoes that are like a little different, a little obscure. Like I love foams. Who the hell is wearing foams anymore outside the DMV?
I wore a pair
I
at the Timberwolves game last year.
The phone posits?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Royal Blues
I have the
back in
Valen
2012.
I have the Valentine's Day ones that are
Yeah,
floral.
those are sweet.
And then I have the pro model with the swoosh. I have the Sequoias.
They're kind of coming back again. I mean, not that they really. I mean, they kind of went away, I guess, but they were pretty. They were popping for a while.
I have a
And
lot
now
of
they
weird
just released, I
shoes.
think, Royals. Just like
Yeah. I have a
Mhm.
really cool like Solomon connection. So like I get like half off Solomon all the time. I know Solomon's still kind of popping.
what's the most you'd ever pay for a pair of shoes? Like if it was like 88 signed by Jordan, like what's the most you would spend on those?
My firstborn kid. I'd pop out a kid just to trade.
Yeah, I don't even know, man. Like they're I don't know, like I can't see
You have
myself
a
spending more than like
So
400 or 500 bucks. I'm like, I
um,
can't.
I-
our guy Raul from Los Calferos, he's got a Paris dunk.
which is insane. I say besides with the Paris Dunks, I think there was. Are you familiar with Jeff with Chasing Aces out in Oregon?
Mm-mm.
So it's pretty
You would
cool.
love Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff's really cool. He's also a big sneaker, but he's all about like giving back. And he started it's called Chasing Aces. He had kind
Okay.
of a really sad story about his dog passed away in like a freak accident. And so his logo is actually his golden retriever. It's really cool. So he does a lot of cool stuff. But anyway, we had him on the podcast for like it was like an hour and a half, two
We should
hours.
reconnect with Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was telling us, so he used to work in the he played college basketball back in the day, but he worked in the restaurant industry, kind of in the high end
I remember the
restaurant
story.
industry.
Yeah.
And when he was working, it was time when Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls were in town, and he's like,
Mm.
and they were told that he was going to be at the restaurant, and so he's like, oh, he was a shoe collector, and I want to say it was the Jordan 11s. I could be
I
wrong.
remember being the 11 because I
Yeah.
remember him hiding the 11s at
Yes.
work. Michael came in, sat down,
Yep.
and then he booked it to
He,
get the 11s, came back,
he
had
stuffed them in
Jordan,
like behind a dumpster
yeah,
outside.
had Jordan sign them and then left.
Yeah, because they were like, "Do not ask for autographs," and he was like, I believe if I'm not mistaken, I believe he ended up randomly running into him in the elevator, and
Hmm.
he's
Wow.
like, "Hey, I got a pair of shoes. Like, would you sign them?" And he signed them. And I think was Tinker there too. I don't remember if
You
Tinker
don't
was,
know
Whoa.
if Tinker was there.
but it was a pretty cool story.
Crazy.
So yeah, it was really wild. So yeah, we kind of get off track with the golf and things, but um, No, we do like to end the podcast with a food related question. So I'll let Dom ask it however you want. If we're there, or
Funny enough,
restaurant, whatever you want.
well, funny enough, I've been on like a Vietnamese food kick lately. It's been a lot of banh mi's because they're fucking good.
Yeah.
They're
Best
the
sandwich. For me,
best.
they're the best sandwich.
I love banh mi's. I also just love Vietnamese fried chicken. It's,
Mm.
don't know how the hell they do it. So good. Anyways, we're over in your neck of the woods. Where are we gonna go eat?
Ooh,
And what you can do is you could do like a breakfast, lunch, dinner type
Yeah.
thing.
oh shoot, okay, okay.
Full day activity of
Okay,
eating.
so for breakfast, we're probably gonna get some. I was gonna say chicken and waffles, but
I'd be down for that.
for lunch or dinner, I wanted to get some Korean fried chicken. So
Mm,
I don't know. All right. Since you're a Vietnamese food fan, for breakfast, have you ever had it's called a ba ne? So
mm-mm.
it's basically like uh so it's a steak with eggs and stuff, and it comes on a hot plate, and then it comes with some banh mi on the side, and then you can dip it in there. So
I'm in.
Yeah,
yep,
steak and eggs.
that's
I'm in.
breakfast. That's breakfast.
Okay. Down for
For
that.
lunch, all right, for lunch, probably the Korean fried chicken with the bulgogi pizza.
Mm.
Is there a specific restaurant that we would go to that you like that comes to mind?
So shout out to Love Letters in La Habra. It's the
Love Letters.
best Korean fried chicken around.
Okay.
Yep.
Love Letters. That's a cool name too.
Yeah.
Kind of curious
Where
how that came about.
are you in like NorCal or SoCal?
I'm in Orange County, so SoCal.
Okay.
Sweet.
Okay. So we could actually go visit that.
Yep.
Yeah, if you guys come, we're gonna go to these spots. So
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not to like drop a big hint, but we're coming.
okay. Let
Not
me
not
know.
not
Like 4 hours, dude. We're heading out.
well like
No, I'm just kidding.
May.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll make it work. All right. What about dinner?
Mm. All right, for dinner, we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna go to Himizu. So it's like a Asian fusion. So like
Big fan.
they got sushi, they got the best oysters that come with this ponzu sauce.
Okay.
Then they got A5 Wagyu steak, some bomb noodles and stuff. So yeah,
What is it
that's
called?
Himizu. It's in Fountain Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we'll keep those on the list because yeah, when we come visit, we'll definitely hit those up.
Yeah, because we may or may not be in like LA or Pasadena
For
in
sure.
May.
And
Yeah.
then, if you guys have room, or for the next day, right, then you guys got to stop by the Crab Shack. So that's my family's restaurant. So
Okay.
Cajun seafood boil. Um, you can obviously tell that I'm sick of that food because I didn't mention it in there, but
Yeah.
it's the bomb, So
For anyone else that's coming, hey, you've had it for so long that you're like, yeah.
yes, yes.
Hi man, it's been a pleasure meeting you and talking to you, and we wish you nothing but the best, and hopefully we can have you on the podcast down the road again.
No, thank you so much. It was super fun talking to you guys.
Good.
I feel like, we uh we're three peas in a pot. We
Yeah,
love Snickers, we
absolutely.
love
I was gonna say
golf.
which one's getting excluded.
Two paper axes.
Well, I mean, you haven't been here for 2 weeks.
Hey, okay.
But yeah, no,
Uh,
I appreciate you guys having me on, and I look forward to linking up and when you guys
For
come
sure.
out here. So
Sounds good,
sure.
man. Nice to meet you. Take care. Have a good night.
take care, guys.
Thank you.